Okay, apart from all the blah blah, there's some actual like in-game content they're showing here, I guess. But, like 1 entire hour of either like starting soon or just blah blah. Let's go.
This new crafting feature that we're bringing online in
Crafting, holy shit, wait. Actual crafting? Wokage? Alright, let's see here. Maybe this is actually interesting.
A new feature that's coming into Diablo 4. It's a gameplay feature, and Mr.
Gameplay
Joseph
after 1 hour.
Oh yeah, yeah.
can give us a little bit more
I'll
details.
talk about this. So this is one of those things I would have loved to be able to talk about in a blog a while ago, but we weren't quite ready to reveal it at that time, and there was already so many things for us to discuss. So the Codex of Power is this new crafting feature that we're bringing online in Diablo 4. We're really, really excited about it. What it allows players to do is, as they're progressing through this, the massive interconnected world of Sanctuary, they're going to be discovering lots and lots of dungeons as they go. And when they find these dungeons and they delve deep into them, at the bottom of them, they're going to find what we call Codex of Power aspects. And an aspect in the Codex of Power is effectively a legendary power that's been put in this very particular form. And every one of these dungeons that players progress through in the overworld.
So, aspects? So, wait. Codex of Power, you can store legendary powers that you can also extract from items, but like in dungeons, you get them already extracted?
Has a unique legendary power via the aspect found inside of them.
Yeah. What I love about that is that you can create a new character, and you can look at some of the powers that are available through these dungeons and say, okay, I really want to target this power. I'm going to go to this dungeon.
I mean, they're probably called legendary powers because they are, the same, like from the same pool as the powers that you can get on legendary items.
And get that power, so you're less dependent on like, well, I hope
that's why they're just like naming consistency.
So there are limitations in place, but Joe, to your point, that is basically the intent here, right? It's to give players some manner and measure of control over the nature of their build as they're beginning to go through those steps. But
so can you target from them?
Is a way for them to basically take these aspects, and then they're able to go back to a crafter back in one of the major cities, our new occultist crafter actually. And when they go to the occultist, they can hand off the.
So legendary items aren't unique? No, they're just legendary. I mean, they're still unique in the form that you have the power on the item, but I guess you can also get the power without the item by like target farming like certain dungeons. And yes, they are kind of similar to blessings then in a way, I guess.
Actually, we're showing it right now. Our sorcerer's friend has just earned aspect
like blessings from
overwhelming bolts, which is going to allow her charge bolts ability to go and fire 2 more projectiles with each cast. She's going for like an up close and personal melee lightning build. So this shotgun approach for her spender is going to be really, really useful. More bolts, more damage, definitely very good. Minor trade-off for the mana cost, but still what ends up being worth in the end.
Why does the graphic like look so pixelated on the character? Honestly, looks like bad.
See that the sorceress is now.
But everything else looks great, but like the character is just weird.
Choosing to imbue this aspect into one of their existing items.
Low pixel count
on the character. So you're looking at a lot of work in progress stuff that we're looking at here because this is a live cast. We'd like to be able to show some things off.
Okay, what do we have here? We have the item that can be modified with the Codex of Power. This is like a. Wait, is this like a rare item or like unique item? It's not a legendary, right? Why is it orange? Aren't like orange items legendaries? Wait. What is this?
More bolts, more damage, definitely very good. Minor trade-off for the mana cost, but still what ends up being worth in the end. Here we can see that the sorceress is now heading over to the occultist and is going to be choosing to imbue this aspect into one of their existing.
Okay, wait. The item right now has already a power, right?
Aspect into.
The item already right now has crackling energy, 46% chance to chain an additional enemy. And then it has 2 empty sockets. So you can have like 3 legendary powers on a legendary item. It's a legendary stuff, right? Yeah, it's a legendary, okay.
One of their existing items.
So he's gonna like put this power on top.
So you're looking at a lot of work in progress stuff that we're looking at here because this is a live cast. We'd like to be able to show some things off. You have an opportunity to go and basically.
No, it replaced the power. The empty sockets do something else, which I think they have actually explained at some point in like some updates, like quarterly updates, but I actually forgot. They do something. Yeah, it replaced it. Sockets for gems? I don't think there are there gems. Actually, there are gems. Oh yeah, it's just the gem sockets. What am I doing? Of course they have gems. The gems are so
override the existing legendary
like kind of boring progress, to be honest.
power on this and put in the new power they've just collected through the Codex of Power. So in this way, players get this deterministic way to kind of collect a series of these legendary powers that are out there in the game for them to find, but it's not all of them. You can only find some of the legendary powers overall in the game. There are over 120 dungeons in the game. So this represents like a lot of really exciting and interesting things for you to collect as you're going through these,
just
these
showing
areas.
the same.
Also, you don't just find legendary powers for your class. You'll find legendary powers for all of the classes as you go, and some ones that can work on multiple classes as well. And then we think this is really cool because every time you find an aspect through one that you can put into your Codex of Power, this is now available to all characters in that realm. So, for sake of argument,
so
if we're
like
playing in
count
season
shared
1,
like Codex of
every
Power, or
character
rather
that you
the
make, let's say you're playing your sorceress first, and you go find a whole bunch of
legendary
werewolf,
powers are
druid,
shared.
based aspects as you're playing. When you go and you want to build a new werewolf character or a new druid character, you have all those aspects to play with from level 1 as soon as you want to start kind of like leveling up gear and getting into a position where you can make use of them.
That's
We
right.
love this idea of like making it so it's easier to go play with other builds.
Yeah, I love too how we've really been thinking about crafting in Diablo.
Yeah, it's also like another basically like form of making leveling alts easier. Like Paragon system did it in D3, and here we have these like powers, like basically like you really get like the skill modifiers that you want. Like you can farm them on your main and like you already get them on your, your second character while leveling. At least I guess once you have a legendary item. I don't know if you can like get like imbue rares with these powers as well. It would be interesting, but maybe you can't.
Hi chat, hi rec Diablo news now.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back, DMT. Thank you so much for the prime. 25 months already.
Before, and I love
Thank you
how
so much,
the
man.
occultist figures into that crafting, right? Because when we think about legendaries in Diablo 4, what we're really talking about is the legendary power. And that legendary power can be moved around. You can use it to upgrade rares, and the occultist is sort of the.
You can use it to upgrade rares, right? He says it, but like, how do you do it exactly? Did he say legendaries actually?
You just want to start kind of like leveling up gear and getting into a position where you can make use of them.
That's
We
right.
love this idea of like making it so it's easier to go play with other builds.
Yeah, I love too how we've really been thinking about crafting in Diablo 4, and I love how the occultist figures into that crafting, right? Because when we think about legendaries in Diablo 4, what we're really talking about is the legendary.
He didn't like say legendaries, right? He like said legendary, and more or less like the pause, like I think he would just want like to correct himself to say legendaries instead of legendary.
And that legendary power can be moved around. You can use it to upgrade rares, and the occultist is sort of the central point of all of that crafting loop.
That's absolutely right. So that was one big change we add with, and we've talked about in previous blogs before, but one big change in Diablo 4 is allowing legendary powers of a particular type to roll on lots of different item slots, which gives players an interesting game of deciding where they want to play.
Wait, what's the difference between legendaries and uniques? Like you say no unique items, Sedge.
Certain powers to make maximum use of them to their builds. Now the Codex lets them put them on the slots that are appropriate for that power. They can choose, right? But another limitation for the Codex power, in addition to not actually having the ability to collect all of legendary powers in the game, there's many, many more for you to find as you're playing through Diablo 4. Those powers also are always rolled at the lowest level of power possible. So it is always better for you to go find a legendary item that has the power that you're interested in, and then you can choose to use.
Wait. Did you just say that like the ones you can target farm from the dungeons have like the lowest roll? Always? And the ones you find are better? That's actually kind of cool. Or like, it's a cool thing, yeah.
That item directly, or extract the power from that item into an aspect crystal, then go in and print into your own item of your choosing. So those legendary items you find out in the world are always going to end up being more powerful as a general rule.
Yeah, I really like the idea that like no matter what, like finding stuff is still going to lead to like potentially the best opportunity.
that's
of getting the most
okay
amount of
balance.
Power, but you
That's
still
good
have
balance.
the customization ability of being able to
Yeah,
I
Conan
found this
Whitman.
power. I would still like to use this on another piece of gear and add that within the Codex of Power, and you still can.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's great about it. Exactly to that point is that you can have, let's say that you are leveling up and you get a legendary power that you really love, and you start to sort of make your build around it. With the Codex of Power, you can acquire new gear, and in fact through essences as well. And you can extract, you can bring that power with you, so you can maintain.
Dude, the mage gameplay looks kind of boring, not gonna lie.
that build, so you're not sort of losing a core part of your build as you're getting.
But I mean, to be honest, like, I've never liked Mage in Diablo. I mean, Diablo 3, I think it was also kind of boring to play, to be honest. Like, I personally thought at least. I know, like, people love it,
and
but...
the fun thing about this is that we do want players, as they're beginning to go through their class phase, they're making their skill tree selection.
I want to play like a rogue or a barb.
Deeper and deeper into this. They're making their fun choices. We do want them to be able to still want to chase certain other powers. Like, for example, for this, like, you know, kind of like melee-focused lightning build, the player here is participating in right now. Like, they're...
It's journalist gaming, though. Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's gonna look like better later, definitely. It might be like a low-level issue, yeah. Like, I mean, I don't mind it being like slow at low levels, because then it's like easy to understand for people to like get into and so on. I mean, it's not like a problem that some other games have, that like it's not like slow enough for you to like actually learn the game at first. That's fine.
There are other powers that they really want for this build. Like, there's a lightning bolt legendary that is going to allow lightning warp legendary. It's going to allow them to have the spear basically orbit.
Dude, you should like drink or like drink every time they say legendary, right? Or like count the amount of times they like said legendary. Dude, fucking like Diablo is so legendary, dude. It's insane.
Which, as you can see, would be awesome when they're teleporting into packs of monsters and trying to deal damage when they're up and close and personal. So there's lots more things for that lightning sword to collect as they're going through, and then hopefully find the very best versions of those legendary powers as well as just finding in the first place.
Yeah, so I know with the Codex of Power, this is kind of a new feature that's coming in Diablo 4, and we'll have...
So with Codex of Power, you can have... No, Codex of Power just like stores the powers, right? And then you can put the item, like the powers on your items. Or can you have like additional powers, like basically in your codex that are also like active? Like 2 or 3 maybe, I don't know.
And more details.
Like kind of like similar how the cube works.
Parts of the Codex of Power and the different powers you can end up finding and so forth to imbue onto actual weapons or gear in general here in the future. Plus other mechanics and other systems that I know people have been talking about and wanting to know more about here in the future.
All right, is there anything else that's like worth watching in this stream, or?
But, I did want to leave some time for some Q&A because I know we've had a lot of different questions that we've seen over the community.
That's literally all they are gonna show here.
In the
like they didn't show anything before this
in the last week with all the announcements that we've actually had related to Diablo 4, and so I wanted to make sure that we spent some time on those. So
they showed off the trailer like 3 times. They showed off this.
It ends up coming with an additional map in D4. And of course,
oh no, this is just what you get when you pre-order, right? This is like the freaking Diablo 3 wings that you get. This is like, I don't know, some World of Warcraft mount maybe. And you get like a mouse.
The battle pass in itself, the premium battle pass for the game.
They're like talking about premium battle pass.
I know we have
for this long,
for the ultimate version,
and then they're talking about like the freaking
which comes, with the.
Or is this like the mouse pad?
For your own needs, because you may be like wanting all the.
And then they're talking about like the physical collector's edition, which doesn't have the digital key as well, right?
Even cooler,
it's just like collectibles, which is still cool, but
a collector's box here.
Yeah,
you do.
So we do want to show it off for the first time.
Look at this.
Yeah, this thing is massive.
This thing is massive.
So we're
pay like $100 for like cardboard.
This right here obviously is the box with
I mean, it's still like collectibles. I mean, I know, like
it
can be cool. It can definitely be cool.
Really
exactly.
If you like into collecting items.
Oh yeah.
We do want to.
But yeah, just be aware it doesn't have the game.
This.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they're literally like just showing off their merch for like an hour, and then they have like this 5 minutes of like actually showing something in the game, and then they have like another 50 minutes of Q&A, right? That's literally the entire stream. All right. I mean, cool.